What's up, Go enthusiasts? Recently, the 2023 Asian Games commenced, and the Individual Go event came and went. Individual Go, unlike most international competitions, was interesting because each of the 9 invited Asian countries could only send their best 2 players. So Korea, China, Japan, and Taiwan, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Macau, Thailand, and Singapore all sent their best 2 players to compete in the group stage and try to make it to the 8-player single elimination bracket to decide the tournament. Of course, Korea, China, and Japan's strongest players could make it through, and they filled 6 of the 8 spots. The remaining 2 spots went to the best players from Taiwan. Taiwan, apparently a very strong Go playing country of themselves, their best player is Zhu Haohong, who won the 7 most important events in Taiwan this last year. Now, it's pretty hard to not drop a tournament. You can argue his competition was less stiff, but it also seems he is a very, very strong player. Because once in the single elimination tournament, he made the most difficult tournament run possible, possibly ever. He beat Park Seung-won in the first round, the number 2 player in the world. In the second round, he beat the number 1 player, and in the third round, the grand finals, he beat the number 3 player in the world. He beat 1, 2, 3, all in the space of only 2 days. It is unheard of. Go players usually don't even play enough games to beat 1, 2, 3 in only 2 days. I don't think it's ever happened before. Let's see how he did it. The first player from Taiwan to win a very big, serious international Go tournament as an individual. Fantastic. He plays white, Park Seung-won plays black. Zhu Haohong's style, it starts off pretty influential. He likes to take a high position at the start of the game. You can see with this knight's move. It's a move that directly means he doesn't want to play the common push. After you play this push, then if you play the knight's move or if you somehow press, this black group is stronger than it would have been before. The knight's move intends to leave this black group as weak as possible while still taking a position on the left side. It's a interesting move, not a very common one in high-level play, but a favorite of Lee Chang-ho's recently, and Zhu Haohong also thinks it's playable. You can play it yourself if you'd like. Park Seung-won plays on the right side, and Zhu Haohong goes to invade. It starts a fight. Park Seung-won simply plays a jump, nothing special here, and white plays the attachment. This attachment is sort of mysterious, I feel, to a lot of amateur players. We know about how the attachment can work after there's an approach, but a lot of time professional players are attaching here without any approach, and simply when they have a stone on the right side. When professional players play against this, all of the black players simply tend to back off like this and take the corner. And it seems a little weird because white manages to take a pretty nice position with his 2 stones, and he can now run out like really fast and aggressive. And black's corner, although it's very nice to have the corner territory like that, it doesn't seem so overwhelmingly efficient that black should be super satisfied. So the question often is, why can't black play more aggressively against the attachment? It's totally possible, actually. Black could instead have chosen to play a Hane on the outside. Then, when white plays this Hane, black usually, if just connecting here happens, gives white too nice of a corner. So black is going to have to fight really hard in this variation. It's going to be stuff like going all the way through here, and then white gets to continue to try to fight in the corner and the outside, and it becomes pretty complicated. It's playable, but it wasn't what Park Seung-won decided to choose. A more natural way may be to try to Hane in the corner. This seems to be pretty effective. This is trying to get the same kind of shape that Park Seung-won made in the game, but more efficiently. Now, if black simply sees white back off, then he can Atari take the ladder. That's much better than the game. And if white plays here, he could take the ladder as well. It seems like no matter what you do, black's shape is going to be more. At this point, if black plays to try to ladder the stone, this cut breaks the ladder. So white can run out all the way like this. And sometimes black will go into this variation and give white the corner. However, in this position, it seems like black's compensation on the right side may not be good enough for white to be able to make a nice position there. So instead, when white has a stone over here and black doesn't really want to take an influence, you might imagine to pull back like this. Then white could play the couple Ataris underneath like so. And although black can Atari and push a couple times, you can see that white is going to be happy. Because eventually when black continues running, it headbutts their own stones into the white prepared stone on the third line here. This is the reason why when you have a third line stone somewhere over here, attachments to the corner, to the 2-space high enclosure, are common. They're planning, they're preparing already here. If the black would hane in the corner, then white can crosscut, and this stone is going to work to help save this white shape. If this stone isn't here, then this is actually going to be a good variation for black, where black is taking a good initiative. So in the game, Park Chung-hwan simply backs off like this. It's normal. And Xu Haohong plays a big running move like this. The horse face with the large knight. It looks like it can be cut, to be honest. This is the kind of move that looks too fast that black can just split and take advantage. But Park Chung-hwan doesn't do that right away. And there's a good reason why, actually. It's Xu Haohong's trap. We're going to see how it works in the game. First, he'll answer to this peeping stone by helping prepare to fix his group on the right side. And now Park Chung-hwan decides to go for the cut. Xu Haohong fixes it like this. He just defends his group on the right side. And the reason why he played that shoulder hit to begin with is because he knew the black top side is nothing to be afraid of. This is why that knight's move can be good. You can use that knight's move to help propel yourself, to give yourself a better handle on reducing the top side. What can black really do to show that this is going to be that big? In fact, the more important area of the board is definitely the fight on the right side between these two weak groups. The white group and the black group will struggle against each other to gain strength. White managed to get several moves in a row towards that area while allowing black to capture just this one stone that ultimately won't make that much territory. It was a very nice strategic showcase by Xu Haohong, and black continued by trying to keep pressure on the white group. Park Chung-hwan is of course going to just defend his group, and he wants a potential attack on this white group, but white doesn't seem to care. If he would have answered, then black would try to turn back to put pressure on white on the right side, so white tries to preempt that. He pushes a few times, and Park Chung-hwan is not happy. He cuts. It's a very, very aggressive cut. I mean, Park Chung-hwan is really saying, hey, you can't capture this stone, so you have to save that group inside somehow. That looks hard. What are you going to do about it? It looks like Park Chung-hwan is taking an initiative here. It looks like white is going to get in some trouble. Xu Haohong had it planned out. He knew what he was going to do. He had this vital point. This is the vital point of the large knight. Between these two stones is a large knight. They're too far away to really support each other. So by playing at the small knight, you call it out, you separate them. Black chooses to Atari here first. It means if he would have just extended, then white would be able to save himself naturally on the right side, and black wouldn't have that much compensation for it. So instead, black tries to Atari and then extend. Now if white saves himself naturally, this extending out by white will be a bad exchange if he doesn't really want to save those two stones. So white tries to do things a bit more actively. He plays the hane here, forcing black to save his two stones by making a few Ataris, giving white a nice shape on the outside. And now Park Chung-hwan plays a very interesting and correct move, the connect with the empty triangle. Most people are naturally going to think to play here instead. I mean, this just looks much more natural. You can't still capture these black two stones. So why did Park Chung-hwan play the boring basic connect that leads to a sort of bad shape rather than this apparent good shape like capturing one stone? Well, white can play the cut now. And this is a little bit problematic for black, where he's still going to have to fix. And this exchange that he's now made by Ataring this one stone and allowing white to cut, that's going to give white a lot more activity towards being able to save his group in the right side. So by connecting here, Park Chung-won is actually leaving the absolute most pressure that he can on the white upper right group. So how does Zhu Hao-hong respond? He doesn't. He plays on the outside. And this shows the start of Zhu Haohong's really, really nice opening strategy here. He's decided that those stones in the upper right, they are his burden, but if they become something dead, they would be Black's burden, actually. It's an interesting way to think about it. But basically, by playing away entirely and playing this very valuable move elsewhere, he's not going to get shattered on the outside, and he asks to Black, hey, you can try to capture me. Just show me. How are you going to do it? If you try to capture me inside here, maybe ultimately it wouldn't be that much territory. It's a pretty crazy way to speak, right? But we're actually going to see it pay off because of Park Chung-won's next move here, sliding. It's a mistake. He should have played from the direction of his weak group. He attacked this white group from the direction of killing. But in doing so, he allowed it to try to start some counterplay against the black group in the right side. And we're going to see that really pay off. What he prevented when he played that slide is he prevented this tiger's mouth, which appears to gain quite a bit of potential eye shape and potential use towards the top side. You have to remember, if black continues trying to kill this super hard, white can always try to run out here and sacrifice his group again from the top side to take a big benefit and initiative there. But when he attacked from this side, Park Chung-won, he allowed Zhu Haohong to play a very nice sequence. The Hane here to start forces black to take away as much as he can of the white base. He wouldn't want to simply connect here and allow white to start really making a potential 2-eye shape. So this move is necessary, but when Zhu Haohong captures the one stone, now Park Chung-won must protect his cut, and Zhu Haohong simply captures. This is not yet able to save itself. This white is not yet like alive or like easily savable or anything, but it's very close. And the black group is also not yet safe or alive or easy to save itself or anything. So Park Chung-won has a very difficult position all of a sudden. This group on the right side is already kind of supposed to be dead. When black played this sliding move, he was trying to say, you're going to die inside here and I'm going to be able to get all the territory. And now black has this very awkward decision of how he wants to keep on killing it off. Does he want to defend his group on the right side first, or does he want to try to strike hard against the white group and hope to win a capture race? He chooses to try to win a capture race like this. And so white seals him in and plays a capturing race to Suji. This wedge may be unexpected to you. It's not a very normal move in most fights. This wedge is exactly talking about how capture race liberties work. If black would simply connect here, most of the time this is going to be a big gain for black. But in this case, white has managed to make it so that this black shape has almost no liberties inside. So even though black's shape gain towards the right side is really nice, white gets the next move there, wherever he would spend it. And black's liberty race condition, winning against this white group looks much harder than it did a couple moves ago. That's why Park Chung-won Atari from this side instead. And that gives white the opportunity to cut, but black can play an Atari here and connect. The connect is necessary in order to make sure that the white group remains dead, but that means that white can play the descend here. It seems like black is in major, major trouble, even though he plays some Atari on the outside in the game he plays here. But anything on the outside, it looks like you can try to attack this white, but nothing can quite make a ladder, nothing can quite make a net. Even on the right side, everything that white has is safe. So it looks like black was shattered. He got cut off from his middle stones. Well, not quite. Park Chung-won actually had this read out and judged correctly that this was his best way to save the group by using that nice peep on the second line. That meant if white, instead of connecting here and allowing black to take a base, had pushed here, then with a little bit of preparation, black could win the capturing race on the side and easily win the game. That's why instead white defended himself all the way in the center, allowed black to take this base, just turn here. Black needs to continue by capturing the white group. Once again, he plays to take a base. He's very solidly the favorite in the capture race now. Between this black group and that white group, black is going to have much bigger eye space and from it many more liberties. Maybe not many, but more liberties. It simply fixes on the outside. So what happened at the end? I mean, how successful was this sacrifice really? Because of Zhu Haohong's very nice capture race to Suji, that knight's move and wedge, where black had to sacrifice out and make his way into a nice base on the right side, black managed to take a lot of territory. But white managed to make a humongous influence. At the end of the day, it's almost difficult to box it. It's like, I mean, look at all this stuff. All that too is potential. This is way too much potential. I mean, sure, black got a lot over here, a lot over here. He has something there, he has something here. But this white is just way too big, way too imposing, and it's way too strong. White's shapes look so strong everywhere, so thick, but white just captured a stone here. He's captured some other stones here. Black is in big trouble. But it's Park Chung-hwan. And top players never lose the game easily. Never. He will fight from here. He'll show why we don't take influences like this all that often in modern play. He's going to show why it's so hard to continue this kind of game, even if white is doing very well right now, to a win. He plays simply a jump on the top side to start, so it gains him a route into the Moyo, at the same time making a little bit more potential territory on the top, and defending his 3 stones, which if they would have died, of course, this white group would have came to life. So this is absolutely the most important move on the board. White continues with a double Hane on the bottom. Remember, originally this sequence started when white pushed and black ignored. This double Hane is the punishment to that, and it's quite a painful shape for black to have to endure. He simply takes the base in the corner, but white can capture a stone on the bottom side if he wants, and he even chooses to play away instead. Yeah, if black would try to fight something like this, then of course you can see when white pushes here, there's going to be a double Atari, and black's corner is in huge trouble. Black's side is split. This is not a good variation. That's why Park Chung-hwan chose to go into the corner, and then what may be interesting is why Zhu Haohong chose not to capture the stone. Actually, I think personally that capturing the stone is a good idea here. But what Zhu Haohong was thinking about is that if he can press down this one black stone, the Moyo, the big potential that white builds in the center, looks very difficult to approach. And if you can just consolidate that sort of thing, meaning to just slowly, like as if by happenstance, make it into real territory, white will win the game easily. But black has another idea. He invades on the left side. Invading high is notable. He does not want to be pressed down and allow white to clearly construct his territory. So instead, by playing on the 4th line, white should prevent black from taking an easy base on the left side, and it gives black a little bit of a route into the center. What we're going to see here is the way that black swims in a Moyo, and the way that top players make this kind of play very difficult for white. Actually, what black is thinking about now is, as he defends himself, targeting the places where white has the least control. Because those are the places where black can fight a little bit, gain a little bit, and gain his 2 eyes. At the moment, white's areas of least control actually sort of focus on the right side. There's this cut here, and there's a potential weak group in that white. There's obviously this massive cutting point, and even a potential sort of eye shape that black has on the right side. However, if you would approach that right away, the white thickness would just transmute to the left side, and white's territory on the left side would be very big, even if black could do anything on the right. So he starts on the left here, And he swims on the left a bit, and as he swims, he keeps going to the area where Wei has the least control, meaning the area that's the most open, or where there's cutting points or weaknesses. After seeing this Wei move on the side, does not want to just continue trying to hunker down on the side, because that's an area which Wei already has good control. So instead of hunkering down on the side, he tries to float through to the center. And Wei, understanding this plan, tries to restrict him. If Black would manage to make it up to the upper right, there's this open door where he could potentially connect to his group on the top side. Even he could lean down a bit on this group in the upper left and construct some I shape in the center. So White restricts that by playing here. It's a very nice move, and Black continues to walk his way towards the right side. As he does so, he seems to construct some potential I shape, and White tries to stop it, like this. If White would instead play on the bottom side, then Black probably was thinking about playing a move like this. Already we can imagine Black getting one eye, and it wouldn't be that hard for Black to run and try to construct a second. However, I still believe that this is probably the right way for White to play, because the direction of restricting from the left side like this, it's a little too powerful for White. White has so many stones on the left side, of course Black wouldn't really try to do anything there, and he can easily just exploit the corner still and exploit from the center. Attachment here may look very strange, because it simply allows White to descend, but White didn't descend. If White would descend like this and split the Black shape, normally we're very satisfied with this kind of thing as White, but in this case, Black's cut here could lead into a block, and eventually these White stones on the bottom can get in trouble. This is what I was talking about when Black targets the weaknesses at all times while he floats through the center. You can see he doesn't need to take care of any of his previous stones. He just keeps on going to the area where White is the weakest and asking questions. None of the Black weaknesses, in essence, are material. If White shows, Black has a cut here, then Black can just ignore and say you captured that stone is no big deal. If Black shows, hey, White, you have a weak group or cut or anything like that, White really, really has to care. And so this becomes the kind of game which White has to very actively go to defend all his weaknesses in just the right order, and in the meantime, Black can float almost carefree, almost anywhere, and just expect to be able to get something from wherever White does not defend. White chooses to Hane, and Black cuts, and when Black extends here, White chooses to connect solidly on the bottom side. Actually, the real connect solid is like this. This move, I think, maybe would have been a bit better for White. Still, Black doesn't have very many potential forcing moves from the center, and this controls the corner shape much better. We're going to see after this, there's a lot of the time going to be a potential cut for Black here, and that can potentially help Black save in the corner. But for now, that's not the most important thing. Black needs to save his stones here, and he understands that his next target, after White has become very solid on the bottom side, very solid on the left side, it must be the right center. He plays here. You may ask, why didn't he play here? Actually, this move is also possible. Then White would probably be thinking about simply connecting here, and Black could try to run. But you can see that this stone is a little bit further away from the stones on the right compared to the stone that Park Chung-won played in the game. White played the attachment here. So what White is thinking is he should cut these two groups and keep the pressure on as much as he can so that each of them has to save itself separately. And as long as he makes sure to capture this cutting stone and connect over here if possible, like as long as his own weaknesses don't get exploited too hard, he should be fine. But it wasn't the right approach. Instead, if he would have played here and allowed the two groups to sort of connect and then tried to kill everything together, he could have kept his lead. Even just one, not even that slack, but a little bit slack kind of attacking, where he separates but gives Black a little bit more power towards the right side, can be punished. Black Hanes, White cuts in the center. It looks glorious, but when Black captures this one stone, it threatens to cut here, and White doesn't have the time to defend that. White defends here instead, because if White would defend over here, Black could take the initiative by playing in the center. He can cut here if he wants. Even though white captures this one time, black can connect through to the center, and this white group only has the one eye at the moment. Black is going to continue by extending here, continue by keeping pressure there. This is an almost impossible attack for white to keep going. Basically, if he tried to cut, failed to cut, he can't kill the whole group like that. So the only option now is to continue with his original idea when he attached here, which was to separate these two black groups and attack them separately, and black can simply win the capture race against the white group on the right side. White exchanges this to cause black a shortage of liberty later. It's also kind of the best endgame that white can expect. That shortage of liberty will allow him to get the best squeeze that he can against the black capturing, but you can see from the original Moyo, which looks so grand, already a chunk of it has been cut off and killed from black. It's it's so impossible. Like what Wei had to do was try to kill everything if he didn't want black to catch up like this, but it's fine, it's fine. Black has caught up. White is still fine. White can seal it off on the top side. And White is saying, okay, fine, you killed that, but if I get the entire rest of the Moyo, once again, I can make a big box. Bang, bang. Yeah, you got the right side. That's fine. But what if I take all of this, all of this? I'm struggling to box it all. This is enough to win. If this is all white territory, it doesn't matter that black has now taken the entire right side. White would have enough like this. Black just accepts. And white wedges. You see, although white could simply back off like this, if black could take the whole top side as well, at that point maybe it's not enough. We have to maintain efficiency. So white wedges here, looking to show black that actually there's some cutting problems and some shortage of liberty problems, and black accepts. He's like, yeah, there are. It looks a little weird because black could simply play here, and if white answers, then this is very, very clean shape for black. So why didn't black play this Atari? Of course, he anticipated white to play the squeeze. After this, white gets another Atari on the top side there, and if white tries to save on the top side, he would definitely be successful. If he simply tries to sacrifice like this, it can also be successful, and even he can try to squeeze and save on the top side after. This looks very difficult for black. So Park Ching-wan chose not to do that, and he allowed white to capture this one stone, apparently blocking this area in a very, very nice way. But we're actually going to see it backfire. First, Park Ching-wan needs to handle the Moyo. He comes into the corner. He asks whether he can make a living group in here. White plays this. This is kind of a yes, kind of. Black extends once first, and then plays here. If he hadn't extended there, at the end of this living sequence, he thought that white would Atari, and that would be the biggest move remaining. It would give white a full squeeze on this group and a very, very nice increase in territory. However, having made that exchange, it gives white the right to finish off in Sente, to take his eye, and then to connect here. This is the strongest attack on these black stones in the corner. So the question is whether black can save them. He pushes up, and white blocks. This is usually the accepting variation. This is saying, yeah, black, you can save. And indeed, after this, the Atari, the Hane, black captures that one stone and saves his group in the corner. This is going to be able to make two eyes. Come on. Wasn't white supposed to be able to attack this? Like, white had so much power. Wasn't white supposed to be able to kill something if black tries to live in the corner here? You may originally want to cut here. However, black has the Atari here, meaning that this cut is threatened. And after that, when black takes a eye space in the center, it seems like this black group will actually be able to save itself. Believe it or not, this has some counterattacking potential against white, and in general, it has quite a bit of space in the center. Since it already has one eye, this is quite dangerous for white. So he decided that black should be able to save itself, fine. Then what if you play an attack from this side? This also looks very dangerous, where if black captures like this, the full squeeze, if it goes like this, would kill black. So of course black needs to play better. Black would try to extend here, probably. Now it's kind of natural to cut here. Since we've already protected our cut on the other side, black has very little option but to try this move. Then when white fixes like this, it looks like this is going to be successful for black with this Atari. Now if white answers, then black can capture the 3 stones on the side. But don't think too fast. White will Atari here. If black captures, then this Atari, and this Atari will kill black in a ladder. And if black simply extends, then white can save his 3 stones on the side like this, and black has very little potential I shape left. This black is dead. So you can't Atari there, but what if you Atari here? Now it looks like you can do the same thing with this and here and here. So what if before I exchange this cut, I wedge? Then if you try to do this way, if black plays here, it comes back to the same variation, but black can play differently now. He can try to extend. Then when white kills these 3 stones, black can play this Atari and can try to save his group on the right side. Without saving this corner, black can try to run through to the center and use the side to gain his 2 eyes. This also looks quite dangerous for white. White couldn't manage to make the most aggressive attacks here. He could only block. He could only make sure that the outside black was really, truly, definitely dead. And at the end, white made a sente move and simply tries to reduce this black shape. Allow it to live. Black answers and answers and answers. Black can easily make 2 eyes, but it would only be 2 points. White will try to finish this area and go to the top side and win the game. So black doesn't let him. I believe Park Chang-won counted and judged here, and he thought, if I simply answer and white finishes off the top side, then this area is just a bit too big. That's what Park Chang-won thought. So he starts some trouble. And white says, you can't live on the side. I'm not going to let you. And Park Chang-won starts some more trouble. And white is like, you absolutely can't live on the side, man. I'm not going to let you access my cuts. I'm going to make sure my own group is safe. And Park Chang-won bothers him a bit. And Zhu Haohong is like, I'm fine. This group is safe. This move is partially to make eyes even for his outside group, as he expects this black to save itself or to try to save itself through the center. But black switches now. He doesn't continue trying to save. He just says those exchanges were enough to give me more resources in the center. You see, every time as black played these moves, white responded on the left side deeper. So that means that black's resources in the center have only increased. When black plays this Atari, white has no way to fight back against it. He can only capture and allow black to connect, and black's resources in the center look very, very severe. But white needs to attack these 3 stones. He has no other option. So he tries to clamp here. This is trying to make a double attack. The black upper left corner and these 3 stones, they both are in trouble, but black of course needs to save the 3 stones primarily, take the topside territory. And white tries to block the center before capturing here, pressing the black to live in the corner and kill this group. White wants everything. He says, okay, you managed to trade through there, but I need, if you're going to get that, I need to kill the group. But if I kill the group and you just get to run through, then I can't win. So white is trying to capture the stone on the top side, block the center, and kill the group. To be frank, it's a little bit amateur. It's wanting too much. I mean, these pushing moves here, these are the kinds of moves that when I see, I just accept and think my opponent is a little not too circumspect about the situation. You know, of course, when black answers and pushes through here, he's gaining. The black moves are more valuable than the white moves. Unless white really did perfectly solidify his territory with just those 2 moves. If just those 2 moves was enough, then maybe, just maybe, white can be fine. Black cuts here. I'm sure at this time he was counting and he was thinking about, can I win this game the easy way, or do I have to do it the hard way? And he thought he could do it the easy way. Park Chung-won is like, your couple moves there, they were so bad that I've won the game. As long as I take the topside territory, you've been reduced a lot already. I can push through here. Already I can win the game. But White manages to solidify his surrounding like this. If Black had done the hard way, if he had played like here, if he'd done some crazy stuff inside, then Park Chung-won could have won this game by a lot. But he didn't think that he had to, and this stuff is risky. It's not clear that Black is able to save this one stone. White can try to cut it and can try to trade and can try to live on the top side. And when White plays here, it's like really annoying. Like maybe the whole Black group can get in some big trouble. So Black just tried to fix himself first. He saved himself, allowed White to play here, and he thought Black should win by a little bit like this. That's enough. He took the last big move like this. Except White actually took the last big move. Actually, I think this was a little bit lazy by Park Chung-won. He should have pushed here and done this stuff first. If he had pushed here a couple times first, you can see actually there's some big trouble for White if he goes like this. At this moment, White can try to capture here, where if Black cuts, then White can live. But that just means that when Black plays here, it's going to be Sente. So Black could have pushed here a couple times, reduced this White shape a little bit, gotten himself some more resources, maybe done a little bit better. This way, Black would win by a couple points. But because he only took this move first, it allowed White to take this Sente first and then to block here and to get a little bit of extra territory in the center. But Black should still win. He's still leading. He's calculated this. He knows that the last big move is capturing this one stone. White pushes through here, captures his own one stone. That was another pretty big move, but Black's push here was a very nice endgame, making it so that White has a liberty shortage. At this point, White can't block. He can only capture here. Why can't he block? Because then Black Ataris like this and plays here. It's not even really a ko. Black can simply capture. White can't try to fill liberties here. It's just insane. So White must answer and allow Black this very nice sequence, push through a couple times in Sente, and to play on the top side. The top side is the last remaining endgame. I mean, White has a push here, but because this game is Moyo versus Moyo, even though we've been in the stretches of middle game for so long, actually there's no remaining little endgames to play other than the top side here, the top left, just that one push. That's it. That's all we've got. So all you've got to do is make sure you get the absolute maximum amount of territory here. Black plays this move because it is forcing. Otherwise, if White doesn't answer, Black could extend out this one stone, save the cutting stone, win the game. White pushes here once first. That was forcing. He made sure that he got it, and then he captures. Very natural. Black plays here. And White peeps first and descends. Okay, seems fine. Black should somehow figure out a way to reduce the White's territory as much as he can. Make sure to block. He should win. So he plays the Atari here, looking to be able to push through again in Sente. And at least this way, no matter what White tries to do, Black will be able to make a potential eye. Either, he'll make an eye by capturing this one stone, or if White plays here, he can Atari, make that eye. So he'll definitely get this point of territory. He'll be able to fix everything. Black should win. Black's leading. He seems to be leading by 1.5 points. Except for one move. One brilliant move that Zhu Haohong plays to win the game by 0.5 point. Steal the game from Park Chung-won's grasp. Here. This move looks like a typical amateur mistake. A lot of people like to sacrifice stones in the endgame. And it's really bad most of the time to sacrifice stones like this just to get a forcing move. Because even though, okay, yeah, you got a forcing move, Black's territory increased not just by the 1 point that White threw in, but also by the fact that Black got the descend for free. So that's 2 points that Black got for free from White doing this. And all White got was the right to play this Atari and Sente. Why was that so important? Because it means that White can also connect here. Now, remember, it was supposed to be that Black would get an eye and then also be able to defend this and be fine. Now he doesn't have the eye. Not only does that mean that Black has the chance to get squeezed over this area to fill in that point, but later, White has an Atari here and can force Black to add even one more move into his territory. Black gets this move in Sente, that's his right, and he can play here. But White's this move is Sente, and this move is Sente. They were both forcing because Black needed these two defensive moves. Then finally, White ends the game by playing here. They finish the endgame like this, and it's over. White wins by half a point. All because at this moment, even still here, just 20 moves to the end of the game, it seems like Black is going to win when Black plays here, but White had this brilliant CG lined up. If White had played here, Black gets the eye. Because of that eye, Black doesn't have to spend another move inside. If it had been the other way, if here White does this one, Black would fix like this. Because of that eye, White doesn't have to spend, Black doesn't have to spend another move inside. He can push through these couple times in a forcing manner as well. But he failed because of this brilliant endgame. Even if Black would answer somehow very passively here, it's just going to allow White to reduce a lot of territory on the top side and he'll win anyway. It was unstoppable. The only thing Black could have done is anticipate this from a long time out. Instead of playing here, it was a losing move actually. Black needed to make sure that he would get that eye on the outside. The way to do that is to Atari here. This looks crazy, but the Atari here, it means, first of all, if you capture, I can connect underneath, so I don't have to spend any move inside. If you play here, then connecting underneath is not that good, actually, because White would be able to fix his group on the outside, however, it be like this, and Black wouldn't be able to make a nice eye space. Actually, I think this is not the right way. Probably this way is a bit better. Anyway, that's not possible. The way to do this is to exchange that one Atari and then play this move. It's forcing, okay, I understand. And then play here. This means now if White blocks like this, Black can play wonderfully to take eyes, but White can actually take the eye and prevent Black from getting an eye. It just means that then Black could connect under. Crazy. A crazy single endgame position to decide the game. Black's only winning move to play the Atari from underneath, meaning that we solidify White's own eye-shape problems and give ourselves a route underneath. So basically a second resource that Black can use to win the game by preventing White from using this Aji on the top side that White could make a crazy cut throw and force Black to spend one more move inside. And that was the decisive moment. White only won by half a point. Just a single point, just a single added move inside was the difference between winning and losing in this massive Moyo, multiple dead groups, trade, crazy game. What a game. Fantastic play by Xu Haohong. And next, we get to see whether he can repeat it against Shin Jin-so, the #1 player in the world. I look forward to seeing you then. Make sure to like and subscribe to see it and ring the notification bell. Make sure that you catch that very, very interesting game next video. See you then. Bye-bye.